myself. Hi, Allie, I can see you. Go ahead and stop your video. Dennis, I can see you.
Cool.
Yay! We like it. All right, guys, we're back. And there was just one weird setting. 720. 8. Join. All righty.
Yeah, 4 of us so far.
We're getting everybody here. I'm all excited. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and broadcast it. Let's see if we can get everybody in. Woohoo! Oh, I see you, Josh. Yay, I'm very happy now. There's Pam. Hi. There was a weird setting, but we're good.
Can I stop the video now?
Yes.
I'll see you soon.
Bye. Pam, we're here. I'm so excited. Okay, so by the way, that was such good information from Gary, and I'm sorry that I was distracting everybody, but I think we are back on track. Good stuff for everybody. Okay, so what I'd like to do now is I want to go into just a little bit about what we have coming up this week. Lots of really cool stuff. And let me go to here. And hang on 2 seconds with me, everybody. Great. Okay, so tomorrow, so excited. Oh my gosh, Pam, are you excited about this? We have Mo Anderson is going to be joining us from 11 a.m. to 11:40 for a very special webinar. And Pam, I believe you and Guru are going to be having a conversation with her, right?
That's right. I'm more than excited, Cole, about this. So, yeah.
Yeah, this should be fantastic. So everybody make sure that you check out the link that we have in our Facebook pages. You'll be able to see it there, and you want to sign up for this. You do not want to miss it. We do have a limited number of people that can be on that call, so you do not want to be one of the ones that isn't there. Okay, so for the rest of this week, then we have all sorts of fun things happening. Of course, today is Mindset Monday with Rita Mendez. That has been going so amazing. We're actually having a lot of breakthrough with people on that one.
Yeah, I'm hearing a lot of great information. I'm hearing a lot of great stuff coming out of that.
Yeah, it's been really fantastic, really fantastic. And of course, every day this week, I hope everybody knows that during the week, starting at 7:30, we have Bill Allison, and he's leading our daily devotional. For those of you who like to wake up with a spiritual moment, Bill is amazing at that. And then at 8 o'clock, we have Lindy Haglin. She has been leading our daily power-ups. So I hope everybody's joining on those every day, Monday through Friday. We have those going for you. And then, of course, tomorrow, A Joy-Filled Life with Mo Anderson. Then during the week, at 1 o'clock, we have our Tech Talk with Jessica. Those have been incredibly powerful. And of course, Pam, favorite thing of the week, we have our Eavesdrop on the Top tomorrow. Can you tell us who's going to be on that tomorrow?
Well, it's a little bit of a surprise tomorrow. We're going to do a little something different. So I think you just have to stay tuned to that one, but you're going to want to be on it.
I love that so much. Okay, so the next big thing that we have coming up is so important. And Pam, you and I have a really good friend who's actually going to join us right now, and he's going to tell us all sorts of things. And a lot of you guys know him, my personal favorite bold coach. And I'm going to welcome in Mr. Derek Shake. Derek, come on in.
Come on in.
Hey. Like, flattery will get you everywhere, Cole.
Absolutely, my friend, and you deserve every bit of flattery. All right,
cool.
Take us through some stuff.
All right, thank you so much. So number one, I want to thank Pam and Cole for allowing me into your team meeting. I know your time is very valuable, so I want to provide some value today. I do kind of have an outline, and for those who know me, this is like a live concert. Every day is different, so I have no telling what's going to happen. Now, where you end up 6 to 9 months from now is going to either be by default or by design. Would you agree? Say aye. Aye. Very good. Now, what we need to do is, some people are just hoping they land on their feet 6 to 9 months from now. And some people they're getting real and getting right, and they're creating a plan and they're taking action. Now, how many of you, you can show your face or you can type in the chat box, how many of you have felt any sort of anxiety over the last couple of weeks? Anybody? Raise your hand, type in yes. Anybody feel some anxiety out there? Okay, we got a few yeses out there. And if you said no, you're lying. Now, some people say, hey, Coach Derek, what can I do to relieve anxiety? I have no idea. I have no idea, because every single one of you are different. So I'd like for you to please write these down. Yes, this is not just sit and listen. This is interactive. So I want you to please write these 3 things down. These are 3 things that cause anxiety. And then maybe somebody on the staff can type these in the chat box as well. So number 1, it's because we aren't doing things we should be. Number 1 cause of anxiety is that because we're not doing things that we should be. Number 2, we're doing things we know we shouldn't be doing. That causes anxiety. And number 3 is worrying about things that are out of our control. Now, please write this down. Control the controllables. I'll tackle number 3 first. It's about control the controllables. Now, if you've been in a sales class, you've been in a bold class, we have asked this before. Can you control what a buyer and seller says? Yes or no? Can you control how they think? Can you control what they say? Can you control what you do? Can you control how you think? And can you control what you say? So number 1, it's control the controllables, right? A lot of us are focused on things we can't control. What the virus, if it grows or goes down, what the local government, federal government, what they allow us to do or not to do. Are we essential? Are we not? We can't control those things. We got to focus on the things we can control. Now, Derek, what do I do to release anxiety? Every one of you are different. So first, answer number 1. And it's private. You don't have to share. Nobody can even see you right now. So please write down, what is something right now that you're not doing that you know you should be? Go ahead and write it down. I'll wait for you. Okay. Number 2, what are some things, you're doing that you shouldn't be doing? Go ahead and write it down. You already know what it is. What's that top one for you? Now, we're gonna roll in the focusing question here on the one thing. Let me go here to screen share. Let's ensure this works. I trust everybody can see that. Someone give me a verbal. Can you see the 7 circles?
Yes.
All right, thank you so much. So this is coming out of the One Thing book, written by Gary Keller and Jay Papasan. So I'm taking a little, I'm deviating just a little bit. And yet when you look at that answer of what's something that you're doing that you shouldn't be doing. Okay, when you look at the question in the center, that's called the focusing question. What is the one thing I can do, such as by doing it, everything else becomes easier or unnecessary? So let's break it down. What is the one thing? It's not the 5 things. It's not the 10 things. It's the one thing. Please write this down. Distractions cause failure. Distractions cause failure. And until your one thing is done, nothing else matters. So what's the one thing? The second part says that I can do. Not hypothetically or in an ideal world, it's something, yes, you have control over, you can do. The next one, such as by doing it, which implies what? It implies taking action. So what's the one thing that I have control over, I can do, such as by taking action on it? Everything else becomes easier and necessary. So you need to write down what's that one action step you're going to take when it comes to answering number 1. What's that one thing you're going to do when it comes to answering number 2? For an example, on the last call, a gentleman said, one thing that I know I'm not doing that I should be. He said exercising. He said he's given it up in the last 5-6 weeks. Okay, great. And it gives him anxiety by not doing it because he knows he should. Okay, great. So what's the one thing you can do, such as by doing it? And he's blocked out doing 45 minutes of exercising, cardio, whatever, every single day. And he's put on a 66-day challenge. And then the other thing, he said, what's one thing I'm doing that I know I shouldn't be? He said he's spending 4 hours a day watching news. He knows he shouldn't be doing that. So he's going to break it down. He's just going to watch 30 minutes. Okay, no judgment, 30 minutes, whatever you want. But he knows he shouldn't be watching 4 hours. He's breaking it down to 3. So how do you relieve anxiety? I don't know. Everybody's different. You need to answer those 2 questions and then take an action step to do something about it. Now, these 7 circles, they're in the One Thing book, and these are different areas of your life. Spiritual life, physical health, your relationships, your business, your finances. And would you agree, I know this is more of a webinar than a classroom. Sorry, I always ask. But would you agree that these all interact with each other? If your business is struggling, does it affect home? If your home is struggling, does it affect business or finances? So, one popular question that's out there right now is people say, when this is all over, what do you want your business to look like? So if we just take the one thing, let's talk about the business. Now, in the One Thing book, if you following along, please write these down. The 7 circles are on page 114. When it comes to goal setting to the now, it's on page 150. And normally what we do is we figure out what's that big, hairy, audacious someday goal, that big universe denting goal. And now let's break it down. What can we do in 5 years to make it happen? We're not going to do that today. And as a coach, it pains me not to start there. See, Gary is sharing with us, it's about survive to thrive. We need to survive first in order to thrive. And if you want to provide great customer service to your customers and clients, your business has to survive first. So you're in business to do so. So whenever you do goal setting to the now, let's take it to the end of the year. At the end of the year, what do you want your business to look like? And then we chunk down the goal or goal setting to the now. What's the one thing you can do this month, such as by doing it, it will help you hit the end of the year goal. And you come up with the answer. And if this is a workshop, I allow you to write it down, yet I'll speed it up a little bit. When you come up with that 1 month goal, then it's this week. What's the one thing I can do this week, such as by doing it, it'll ensure I hit my 1 month goal. Then we chunk down the goal even more. What's the one thing I can do today, such as by doing it, I can achieve my 1 week goal? Then it's goal setting to the now. What's the one thing I can do right now, such as by doing it, will help me achieve my 1 day goal? So we can how we end up at the end of the year is either by default or by design. By design is begin with the end in mind. What do you want to look like? And chunk it down to a 1 month, then a 1 week, a 1 day, and then a right now goal. Now, obviously we're talking about business. Business, what do you want your business to look like? What do you want your finances to look like? And I know a lot of people, that's all we're talking about is business and finances right now. And, I'm a coach first and a speaker second and eye candy third. No comment? No comment. All right. Okay, I get 1 laugh. Thank you, Pam. All right. So there are other circles in there. There's key relationships I think we're forgetting about right now. And I'm bringing these up because I coach people all across the country and I'm seeing some trends. What do you want your relationship to look like at the end of the year? Do you understand that divorce attorneys' phones are ringing off the hook right now? And we're only 6 weeks in. What's it going to look like 6 months from now? So what are you doing right now to ensure that you have the relationship you want? Is your relationship going to be stronger or is it going to be struggling? How about your health? Right? Normally in classroom, I'd say, all right, you're quarantined. How many of you locked yourself in your house with a lot of snacks and you've gained some weight? I did the first few weeks. So what is your health going to look like? And it may be weight, it may be cholesterol, it may be blood pressure. What's your health going to look like? I see a lot of people's health sliding. I also see people's 6 o'clock glass of wine becoming a 3 o'clock glass, a 1 o'clock glass, and a noon glass. And I'm kind of joking, and I'm kind of not. I see people's mental health sliding, some of their physical health sliding, because they're so focused on the business and finances. And yes, you got to focus on those business and finances. But don't forget about the other circles. Don't forget about your health. Don't forget about your key relationships. They're just as important, if not more important. And now I'm going to go deeper, because that's just, as a coach, that's what I want to do. If you have kids of any age, they're in the house, you're homeschooling them, or they're adults and they're out of the house. If you have kids, we ask about, when this is all over, what are you going to be remembered for? And the leadership on this call, what's your market center going to be known for? Some of you are running teams. How are your teams going to remember you? We talk about experiences with having and legacies worth leaving. What legacy are you going to leave during this time? And when it comes to kids, how are your kids going to remember you? Are your kids going to remember during that weird pandemic thing when I was a kid that mom and dad were in their pajamas for 3 weeks, started drinking by noon, watched negative news all day, and never played with us because they were so stressed out? Or are they going to know that during that weird time, that pandemic thing when I was growing up, mom and dad were home more often? And they always played with us and engaged with us. We played games. We went out for walks more than we ever did. We talked more than we ever did. Mom and dad worked twice as hard to make sure that we could make it out on the other side. Because sometime your kids are going to have a tough time in their life. And please write this down. More is caught than taught. Kids are watching you more than they're listening to you. If you have kids, I'm right. They're watching you more than listening to you. And when things get tough, they're going to say, how do I get through tough times? I need to remember how mom and dad got through tough times. What message are you leaving? Now, I know that was a little deeper. You was expecting someone to come on with the big, big heart, puffy love, hug everybody, which I normally do. And we got to get real, get right. We got to get serious, get real. It's not getting scared, and it's not burying our head in the sand. It's knowing where we are, honestly, where do we want to be, and create a path and a plan to do it. And not just business finances. Remember those other 7 circles as well. So I could go another 3 hours. I don't have 3 hours. I just want to make that point. And once again, please don't, wow, that was good. And then an hour later, forget all about this. I want you to write it down. I want you to talk to your spouse or your partner. If you live with your cat, have the conversation with your cat of what do you want to look like and where you're at, and create those plans. And that's my time. I thank you guys so very much.
Derek, thank you so much. I always love it when you take a moment and just train and bring some new life into the things that we're thinking. That's for sure. Now, you've got a class on the one thing coming up, don't you?
While I'm teaching, I teach this a little more in depth, more like 45 minutes. I can zoom in or do another webinar at another time. I can schedule, and then also obviously, Bold Pivot. I am a Bold coach. I know you had Denise on last week, which is awesome. And just bring it up once again, because some people are still a little confused. Once again, we're going to start next Tuesday, Cinco de Mayo on Tuesday. And it's, we do it 2 hours, 1 to 3 Central on Tuesday and Thursday, and then we do like 2 hours of Coach's Corner on Wednesday, Friday. Then you'll access the live stream. The live stream will be recorded. All the materials, workbooks, you can download off of the private Facebook page. As of this morning, we have over 19,000 people already signed up across the world. Belize, South Africa, Italy, they're all over. So make sure you join us, because once again, if you're just going to lock up and do nothing, that's probably what you're going to have a life by default. Whenever you work with a group of people that have a forward-thinking mindset and get into action, which Bold has always been about, it'll just be digital now, then you're going to have that life by design, right? So it's just about working with us. Thank you for the time. And if anybody has any questions, reach out to me. I'm here to help you guys.
Derek, thank you so much for joining us today. As you are welcome back anytime. And yes, we will take you up on your class. We'll get you on the calendar. That'd be great.
Cool. Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody. Take
Bye,
care.
bye,
Bye-bye.
bye. Okay, so I want everybody just to take a look at this because I think it is so important, is that Bold normally costs $799. It's $700 off. And another thing you may not know about is that if this is the largest real estate event ever. It's bigger than any of the NAR conventions. It's even bigger than our conventions with the number of people that we have going. And it's only $99. Guys, it doesn't get better than this. Absolutely, you really want to make sure that you attend Bold. Do it for yourself. Do it for your business. It is so important for you. And I hope you do definitely join in on that. It's going to be fantastic. We have quite a few of our agents coming already. Just add your name to the list because I think it's so important. Okay, so let's move on to something really wonderful and heartfelt. And one of my biggest pieces of my heart is going to be joining us. So Maddie, why don't you come on in here?
Hello.
Hello, Maddie. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm awesome. So tell everybody who you are.
So I'm Maddie, and I am the Director of First Impressions / Agent Services Coordinator at our Keller Williams Mountains to Sound office in Kent.
Yay, yay. And so you're here to tell us a little bit about a project that we're doing for Red Day. Can you tell us a little bit about it?
Yes, so one of the projects that we're doing is we are sending a video to everybody on the front line. So every hospital, emergency room, doctor's office in our area. And we're just sending them a string of videos that says that we're thankful for them and we acknowledge the work and they're putting themselves and their families and at risk for us. And so we wanted to send them a thank you and tell them that we appreciate them and we acknowledge all of the hard work that they're doing during this time.
I love it. So you've put together kind of a mock video for us, and we just wanted to play that for everybody. So hang on 2 seconds. Let me share that screen. And yeah, let's see.
Hello, we wanted to say thank you so much for all you do. We truly appreciate you. Thank you.
Thank you so much for everything you are doing. You're a hero.
Thank you for everything you do and for everything you continue to do.
From my home to yours, thank you for all that you're doing. Thank you for going on the front lines and giving everything you've got to keep us safe.
Okay, I love it when Jen just dresses up. That is so fun.
It's my favorite part.
It is. Okay, so Maddie, I think we want to basically tell everybody how they can send the video to you. So what's the very best way that they could send that video to you?
You can do it through text or email, and I can put both of those in the chat box. I have no preference. Just try to keep your video between 5 and 10 seconds.
Awesome. So if everyone wants to see this, please write this down. So you can send your video to email to Maddie at Maddie G, and it's MADDI, no E on the end, G at KW.com. Outstanding. Maddie, thank you so much for being, this is your very first time on the big screen, isn't it?
It is. I'm a little nervous.
No, you could never tell. You did a great job. Everybody say thank you for Maddie. Thanks, Maddie.
Thank you.
All right, Maddie, you have a fantastic rest of your day, okay?
You too.
Awesome, awesome. So I'm very excited now that I get to bring on my very, very good friend, Mr. John Hanson. John, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great, thanks.
Awesome. Well, you and I, pretty much every single morning, we get together and we put together a compliance corner. And on Mondays, we get to do it with everybody here. And you've got a really very important compliance corner to talk to everybody today. And it really is all about construction starting up again. So let me go ahead and share the screen here so people can kind of see what is going on. So the first thing to understand is that phase 1 construction restart is happening, right? So what does that mean, John?
Well, yeah, I wanted to preface this by just saying that, you know, around the country, if you're watching national news, you're seeing that around the country, some states are beginning to open up businesses and things like that, and do it in a systematic, careful, safe way. Here in Washington State, we are not yet doing that. So it's still, businesses are shut down except for some rare portions of certain businesses, and we are one of those, right? And so we have certain portions of our business being released for being back in business, and construction, because the messages I was getting from everybody is, hey, construction's back, construction, and it's not. So this is a phase 1 construction restart. So my understanding is that any existing construction projects may resume. So it's not starting up new construction projects, it's resuming those that had to stop because of the virus, and they can now start up again under some very strict conditions. And I wanted to talk a little bit about that, not because any of us are necessarily going to be involved in contracting work, but because we do have indirectly a lot to do with this. And so I wanted to just make sure everyone is aware of what is going on. So that's step 1 is that. Step 2 is that these guidelines that must be followed for a contractor's safety and the safety of that site are that first, that they must have a COVID-19 site supervisor who's going to be there and is going to be monitoring everything. Secondly, that they have safety training provided before they start up their construction again, the restart, that they provide a certain training, which is their thing to worry about because they've got to do it and it's quite a bit of detail. They have to post notices all around. They have to observe social distancing, of course, 6 feet apart. So any construction activity that requires 2 people to be closer than 6 feet together, they are not allowed to do. So they are only allowed to do the things that they can do social distancing with, including lunch. So they have to have a program for their lunches. When they're taking lunch, they can't take lunch at the same time because there'll be a temptation to sit together, and so they have to have them staggered and do these kinds of things. They have to provide on their site. They have to provide protective equipment for all employees. So they all have to be wearing gloves. They all have to be wearing masks and doing all these eye protection, all the things, and the sanitation and cleanliness rules have to be implemented on each site so that there can be a certainty of safety on the sites. And then third, they must follow strict protocols when an illness is reported. So they've got some detailed processes they have to go through when somebody comes to them and says that they're feeling ill. And then the fourth thing is I wanted to mention here is that they have to maintain a job site visitor log, which means that they have to record the names, the addresses, the phone numbers, the emails, and so forth of anyone who visits that site, because if someone reports that they had the virus, then they have to notify everybody who's been on that site that someone was on the site that had the virus. And so, so anyway, so those things have to be all observed by the contractor, by the people in charge of that site. And then fifth, the final step is you, and what is your role? Me. What is our role? It is to stay away, right? So very simple for us, stay away from the construction sites. Don't go there. Because if we do, we have to log in, they have to, and all this stuff. So we want to make sure we're staying out of the way. I know builders love it when their clients stay away too, and they don't like to have people hovering around and doing things because they have these safety responsibilities. So I just wanted to make sure that we are all aware of this new phase 1 construction restart.
Well, thanks so much, John. That's so important. I know a lot of people have been asking the questions of when is it going to start up? So at least we have some understanding of when it does get going, what's going to be happening. So thanks so much for sharing that, John. I sure appreciate it, as always, my friend.
My pleasure.
All right. You have a fantastic day. So, Mr. Dennis Ranch, I'm sure you are coming on with some good details. What you got for us today?
I am here. Hopefully I won't have the technical difficulties that we've been seeing. Can you see? Oh, wait, hold on.
We have tech difficulties.
You can't see my screen. I'm going to share a screen right now.
Okay.
Hold on.
All of us are starting to get better and better at this. There you go.
Can you see it?
And we sure can. It's all you, my friend.
Okay, this screen that you're looking at is broker metrics over the last 12 months for King and Pierce County. And the red line is the supply of how many houses are on the market. So if you go back to last March, there was 12,765 houses for sale. And the sales were, they sold 3,622. If you go to this March, there was only 10,000, it's like 627 for sale. We actually sold more. We sold 3,904. So our for sales were down by 16%. Under contracts were down by 14%, but the solds, the actual closings, went up by 7.6%.
Wow.
And what I want to do is I'm going to switch over now to a different look, a weekly look. The last 6 months. Okay, it's going to take a second. It's got to reload it. But this will tell us what's been under contract for the last 6 months. You're going to see something pretty interesting, which is days on market. It's come down quite a bit. So,
by the way, while you're loading that, now Nicole is saying that she will have an infographic out on the stats that you are showing today. That'll be out on our Facebook internet pages, guys. So stay tuned for that. And by the way, Dennis, there's another comment that your beard is looking really good.
hey, thank you. I'm trying to decide if I like it or not. It still itches.
Nicole said she loves it. All right.
Okay. So let me get this. Hold on. There we go. And for sales. Okay. So here's the week by week numbers over the last 6 months. If you look at, then again, this is King and Pierce County. Our for sales are down by 0.7%. Look at that, under contract are up by 27%. And the solds are up by 5%. That's crazy to me. And then I wanted to go over to sales rate. And these are the actual, let's see if I can get the numbers up for you, units. So units under contract, this last week, 954 units went under contract.
That's incredible, Dennis.
It is. And then I'm going to show you days on market, if I can. Oh, it's not on. Hold on a minute. Where is it? No, I can't find it. You know, it might not have it for the week by week report. Sorry about that.
No worries.
But I will give these to Nicole so she can put them on Facebook or wherever she wants to put them. So
that is great. Hey, Dennis, thank you so much. You know, the interesting thing is sometimes we can get a feeling of things and how they are, or just a kind of a feeling what it's like. And actually, you know, when we get the real data, we can understand what's happening in the market, and we can talk to our clients about that. That's for sure.
Well, if you look at that red line, Cole, you see the red line, what's kind of,
yeah.
We surpassed it. We went above the red line. So we're actually doing a lot better than we were in November, December, October. So if you go back, you know, those 3 months before the year ended, we're doing much better.
So what's the bottom line on that, Dennis? Like what is, if we had to have our one line, our nugget that we're going to be talking to our clients about, what are we saying to them?
Well, that real estate's still selling and that there's very low inventory right now. So if they're holding back for any reason, there's really no reason to hold back, either as a buyer or a seller. I mean, rates are ridiculous right now, and are probably just going to hang out at this really low rate. That the sellers, if you're holding off and waiting till after the pandemic's over, well, you're just, I mean, the inventory is as low as it's ever been. So now's the time to get it on the market and get your fair share and get more than maybe what it's actually worth.
Absolutely. And by the way, Lene made a comment here, and I think we should share it. She says, thank you, Dennis, for sharing the stats. I had a great convo with my sphere of influence after last week, and I sent a video out. So good for you, Lene, on taking action. That's great. All right, Dennis. Well, thank you so much for being with us. I sure do appreciate it.
You're welcome. Do I have to unshare my screen?
Yes, please.
There you go.
All right, thank you so much. Okay, everybody, there's one thing I wanted to share with you before we get into some technology here. And I'm going to share my screen with you. And this is, and I don't know if you guys know about this. And forgive me, I'm going to have to go over to the page on it. But I don't know how many of you guys know about our YouTube channel. And it is our Thrive Forward Training and Events channel. This is where all of the training and events and eavesdrop on the top, and our compliance corner, and all of the things that is open for everybody, not just Keller Williams agents, but all of our Thrive Forward community. That's on this page. So I strongly encourage you, if you're really looking for any of the recordings that we have, go ahead and check out that page. So, and just simply do a Thrive Forward Training and Events channel, and you'll find it when you get onto YouTube. All righty then. So I am very excited to bring on a wonderful, wonderful ranch as well. Just keeping the ranches going today. So Mr. Chris Ranch, come on in. How are you doing, my friend? Oh, you're muted.
Unmute. There we go. How you guys doing?
That works. That works. So we have a couple things we want to talk about with you, Chris. The first thing, I understand that you're a fan of Keller Mortgage.
Yeah, been using them for a little while now. Very, very happy. We like some savings. They can't do every loan, but they're a really, really good tool for us to have in our toolbox.
Love it. And yet, how much to date have you saved your clients together?
Just under $100,000.
$100,000.
Now that's not to date. That's in the lifetime of the program. But yeah, just under 100.
That's incredible. Oh my gosh, how many of you guys would like to save your clients $100,000? That is great. Well, so what is it? I mean, how are you doing that, Chris? Are you just suggesting Keller Mortgage? How do you manage all that?
We actually have it in our buyer consultation and our listing consultation. We think it's a really, really good tool. I mean, most of our appointments nowadays, people seem to be not expecting, but almost always asking for some sort of rebate. So this, like I said, I mean, we're using it as a tool. It's not something we shy away from at all. And it's just been really, really savvy and a nice way to maintain our commission.
Great. And for those of you who don't know about Keller Mortgage is 0 origination fees, 0 lender fees, and then they also add $1,000 that you could use for allowable closing costs. So it's called a 0+ loan. Worth it for your clients, that's for sure. And really all you have to do is, if you're a KW agent, you have the ability to offer this loan. By the way, it doesn't have to be to just buyers. It can be to anybody in your sphere of influence. And especially if they want to refinance, they can use a Keller a mortgage. And by the way, let's say that you have a listing and the party on the other side is asking for some closing costs. Well, one way that you could save your clients, your sellers, some of those closing costs is to actually offer a Keller mortgage on the other side. Okay. Yep. All right. So now, Chris, let's switch gears a little bit and let's talk about Smart Plan. So I understand that you are really having some success with, so I'm going to let you take over and share your screen and show us some good stuff. Sound good?
All right, let's do it.
All right.
Okay, so I'm gonna pop into full screen here. All right, so before we get started into Smart Plans, I just wanted to, Cole, you wanted me to show everyone how to actually look at the Keller Mortgage platform here.
That'd be great,
so
yeah.
Just go to www.kellermortgage.com and there's an agent login button. Go ahead and click that and it'll bring you right to your homepage here. So you can refer a client, look at the deals you have, any reports, Keller Mortgage settings, so you can choose a loan officer, preferences, messages, things like that. And then there's also a ton of marketing scripts, FAQs, testimonials, and swag that you can get. And then right here, right in the main area, it shows how much your team has saved clients. So highly recommend taking a look at that and just having them in your toolbox. Okay. So now let's get back in to Smart Plans. So the way I'm using Smart Plans is actually just using it to get up our level in the fundamentals department. So for us, that means looking at home anniversaries and birthdays. So as soon as I log into Command, I notice a few things when I have these set up. And the first thing is in tasks. So you can see that we have some new tasks today. You can see the status. And then I left a few of these in the past due department just so you can see what they look like. So we have a bunch of different birthdays that are coming up. Oh, look at that. One's for someone named Dennis. Dennis Ranch. We don't really care about that, so he may not get one, but we'll see. Just messing with you. Okay, so you can expand that and take a look. But where I want to show you guys a few things is right here. Past the first page, click the Smart Plans app. And that's going to load up. And you can see I brought in quite a few different Smart Plans from the KW library. I'm not making any of my own right now. I'm just using the birthdays and home anniversaries just to get rid of my Excel spreadsheets on all these. And because we're touching all our database anyway, so we're trying to update the birthdays and home anniversaries. So what I've done so far, we have 147 people on the birthday Smart Plan, 172 on the home anniversary. So you can see the duration of these, how many total touches there are, and what that looks like. Okay. And if you're curious, you can also see what are the touches. So for birthday, the first thing you'll notice is touch task. Send a handwritten note for their birthday this week. Wait 4 days, give them a phone call. Wait 1 day, send a social post to them, and then also a text message. So just the birthday Smart Plan is 4 touches. 4 touches. I mean, I'm not a very high S, but this is one way that I wake up every day and I know what I need to get done. And people love it. They love the fact that you're hitting them so many different ways. They appreciate the handwritten note, and it's just very, very simple. Okay, you can see the home anniversary is also a very simple one. Send a gift card or just a handwritten note, whatever you want to do. Wait 6 days, give them a phone call. Okay. Those are the 2 that we're using the most. I want to show you all one more thing, because I hear a lot of talk about the DT-D2, and we have a smart plan in here called the quarterly call smart plan. So let's move my things here. So one thing that we can see is as soon as I go into contacts, there's a bunch of different people here. If I wanted to look at just 10, that's great. I could go to 25. I could also go to 50. All right. As that loads, we can bulk add people to smart plans. So if they have a birthday, it'll notice that. If you add someone without a birthday to a smart plan, it also alerts you to find their birthday. So that shows up as a task actually in your homepage, which is actually really great. Well, and of course it's not going to load properly.
There it goes.
No, there it was, and then I moved it. Patience. Okay. So one thing I want you to see is as soon as you click this button, you select all, you can select a bulk action here. You can add notes, archive, bulk tag, whatever you want to do, but you can also click add to smart plan. So from here, you can go birthday, monthly neighborhood nurture, bi-weekly neighborhood nurture, my home anniversary. Just for this example, I'm going to click my quarterly call plan. So this just makes sure that I touch everybody that I'm adding to this smart plan every single quarter. So again, I'm going to have to move this chat here. Okay. You can start all now. If I did that, all 10 would have to be done today. So if you're adding more than 10, it becomes a little bit more labor intensive as far as making all those calls. You can start all on the following date, or what I really like is this feature. You can click stagger start over the next few days. So what that means is that it allows you to distribute the smart plan for a large group of people. So if I was to add 50 to this quarterly call plan, instead of having to call 50 in one day, what I can do is say, you know what, my max contacts per day is going to be 10. And then it will just start staggering. Okay, Chris, you have 10 people to call a day. Here are the people. And it will just work all the way through to however many I add to that smart plan. I think that is, those three right there specifically are the basics. And that's going to get you quite a few touches every single year. And that's really all that I got. Do you guys have any questions?
That is fantastic. Let's take a look and see who we might have. Okay, Therese says, I have seen a button on leads that says when you unclick, they will be removed from smart plans. Chris, have you played with that? And what is your feedback about the smart plans you put in place?
A button on leads that says when you unclick, they will be removed from smart plans. I think it probably depends on which smart plan they're on, Teresa. I'm not really playing with that function too much. The feedback on the smart plans that I'm using are that I love them. I used to have to run a couple different Excel spreadsheets just to maintain getting people's birthday cards and home anniversaries out. The problem with that was when it's not digital and you close a house with somebody, what I noticed was I was getting ready to send multiple different people a home anniversary card on a previous home that I sold them. So this updated smart plan, I mean, it's a million times better than Excel. These are the basics. I have 330 people on them, and I'm getting great feedback from the people that I'm actually sending them to.
Great. And then Sergio was asking, how do you cancel an active smart plan?
Let's see. It's not something I've had to do, Sergio, but let me take a look. Active smart plans can't be archived. I'm not totally sure, but I can look into that for you, Serge.
Okay. Any other questions for Chris? Does home anniversary automatically send an email wishing them a happy anniversary?
Not in its current capacity. That's something that when triggers are actually created, you'll be able to do yourself, just so that's all done. But right now it is a handwritten note and a phone call.
Great. Well, Chris, thank you so much for showing us all of this. I so appreciate you, my friend. Thanks for coming on. I do want to share with everybody, and we'll just always keep sharing this because I think it is so important, of where you can find the training on KW Connect. So if you go to KW Connect, simply go over on the black line here, you'll go over to technology. You'll click on Tech Enabled Agent, and it says in the center right here, it says Get Training. If you'll simply click on there, you'll see Command Your Database. There's where your smart plan and contacts training is for there. Of course, you can also have opportunities, designs. Any of your training is here. So if I even click on that smart plans, if I go down just to recommended training, again, it starts off lesson 1, session 2, session 3, all the way down. So again, that is on KW Connect, Technology, Tech Enabled Agent, and then towards the center, it says Get Training. So great way to start. And by the way, block some time every day to learn your technology. Get on command and take a look at that technology. All right, now we have some technology that we get to share today that isn't necessarily on command, but I tell you what, my friend Teresa has been crushing it on virtual tours and virtual home inspections. Hey Teresa, how are you?
I'm doing great. How are you, Cole?
I am fantastic, my friend. I am so glad you're here with us. So you have been really successfully using video when you've got long distance clients, or of course in the social distancing. Tell us a little bit more about that.
Yes. So I started to focus on buyers because that's something I never focused on. And I thought I'm really thankful that I picked up some out of town shoppers with using, online lead generation. And right now I don't even have to meet and infect myself potentially with these people because I'm just doing everything virtually. So these are some out-of-town shoppers. One of them is going to be flying in for the inspection. The other one actually doesn't even get to see the home until he gets his keys. So they're trusting our team to really be their eyes and ears.
That is amazing. Okay, so we have a couple of examples. So this first one is an example of a virtual tour that you did. So we'll just take a look at that, okay?
Well, before we see it, so I just want to let everybody know that Cole and I had to game plan together today because when I turn on video on my computer, I can't share it on Zoom. And she actually shared with me that she experiences an issue and has a workaround. So we should all learn from that at some point. But I just wanted to provide some commentary on what you're about to watch, and then we can watch the video afterwards.
Okay.
So I want to do a good job when I'm supporting my buyers and make sure there's no post-closing issues. And part of the reason why I wanted to record these is to protect myself in order to make sure I, did due diligence and also to save myself lots of trips back and forth afterwards. But keep in mind that when you're going through measures to protect yourself, you also can create liabilities and hurt yourself. So just be very cognizant when you're about to do something that's an actual recording. Make sure it's something you're comfortable with sending. So I just wanted to have a little note about that. And so one thing that's really important is to set an expectation with your clients on if you do have a technology fail. So just some insight, this was our second tour. And on the first tour, I had bad service because we were in a remote location. So luckily the listing agent had met with me because it's a very complicated property with a lot of acreage. And so she wanted to be there to help. And luckily she saved it. But what I tell people prior to going out, if I'm using Zoom, is that if we do have a technology fail, don't worry, I'll just shoot videos and do my own commentary, and you basically have to ask me questions later. So I just wanted to make sure to share that with you. On this one, it was a successful, it was a manufactured home, so not the most gorgeous home, but a very nice lot. And the listing agent, wasn't right there with me. So we do have, I can't really write things down with COVID rules with my gloves on and the phone. So just be really cognizant when you're holding your phone and touching it and you're putting it to your face. You don't want to infect yourself. So really keep in mind, which hand you have the glove on, which hand you don't. And it's a little bit difficult right now. And that's, I think the biggest struggle that I had. And so when we're doing this, I'm just reviewing my notes. Then you want to make sure that you set expectations also of how this is going to go, because everybody wants to last minute add another family member because that's just the nature of us wanting to share. So I usually tell them, you know, hey, that's really cool that you want your grandma to be here too. Let's just start the tour. You want to protect your time. Let's just start the tour. And I'll record this, and then that way, you know, everybody can tune in later and you don't have to reshoot things. That will happen.
Right.
And then also ask their permission to record, and I have that on the video. And notice that if somebody joins late, make sure they go on mute, because the video pans and you will have problem with background noise taking up the video feed. And so also, you'll see that we will need to pan slow. So I'm going to go ahead and let you show at this point in time, and then we'll have some discussion afterwards.
All right, sounds good.
I have your permission to record, right? Totally. If you can see here, this is the neighbors and the main entrance, and that's the gate. You see that okay? Yep. Really beautiful landscaping. I know all the trees and the plants. It's extremely well kept. So you can sit on your deck and enjoy this beautiful waterfall. There's a bird feeder, which is probably what attracts all the birds out here. Whoa, yeah. You're late. Hi, Nana.
Hello. I didn't know that you guys were already on. I'm new at this, you know.
So this is the neighbor you can see. So when you're gardening, you'll be able to say hi.
Oh, okay.
They have a car seat in that window and a boat. Yeah, we'll make some stuff. So now we're back. So I'm gonna walk up this left side section. Yeah, the deck's in great shape. It smells like cedar.
It looks like cedar too. And it did say on the site that it was just built this year.
So there's water coming in, but that's only because I opened the cupboard. Cupboard, it looks like there's a lot of room down there to get in. Like there's adequate enough for a company to come and like do work in there.
Oh, yeah.
I see that the housing needs a new vapor barrier.
Okay.
Vapor barrier is that plastic sheathing that you see.
That's not a big deal.
Right. I think that's stuff that Lou could probably handle.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's go in the house, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna try to do a wide pan. Hold on. I'm gonna go all the way over here, all the way to the other side of the dining room. So that's the other living room we came from. That's the kitchen that you see that you want to knock out. Yeah. And then there's the front door over there. And then here's your living room.
Oh, that is very open. That's nice.
My mom wants it. And before I leave, I'm gonna take a panoramic of this whole space, so you can have it in like a snapshot instead of watching the video 20 million times.
Oh, okay. That's awesome. She wants it.
There's a virtual tour thing. You guys should post on Yelp about me.
Yeah.
Virtual tour.
Nice.
And this part is great. Yes.
Yep. Okay.
Great job.
All right, thank you. I'm gonna try to hang up one-handed and Parker home team out.
That's fantastic. Great job. Great job on that. And
So by the end of this, we were.
No, go ahead. You go ahead.
So that will happen a lot when you're in videos, by the way, on tour. People will talk over one another and then it becomes a little choppy. So I do want to say that after watching this, I learned so much about going slower, trying to tell people to go on mute so that they get the most benefit out of the video. And then also just really important to don't sound like an expert and make sure you use the disclaimer constantly that you're not an inspector, because I think a lot of us forget to use that, and you're on video, please protect yourself.
Very, very good advice. Okay. Now on the next video, we've got Toby. So your hubby on here, he's doing a home inspection, right?
So first he's going to do a virtual walkthrough of a property, and then we're also going to, in the same segment, I edited it to just come in with the different home inspections. So I just wanted to show you the different ways we're using technology and not make Cole do tons of different videos for me.
Okay, sounds really good. Let me share this one then. Fantastic.
One thing that I do notice, Wes, is that we've got some really nice
Whoops.
natural hardwood floors. However, I'm seeing some seams and some things that look like they may be just loose joints and things like that. In other areas, I'm seeing some further gaps and things like that that may.
What about the garage? We haven't seen inside the garage yet. It was locked when I was there yesterday.
Yeah, for you guys to recommend making an additional dwelling unit, that must be in decent shape. It's just, the slab is really close to the ground right here. And because we get a lot of splashing rain, they might have had soil and stuff against there. So what a contractor would do is just cut out the back, put the base, replace it. It's a really common repair. The rest of the sill plate around the building looks fantastic. And so that's one of the biggest concerns in these garages is the sill plate, the base of the walls. And here you can see it's really good going around. Now, if we look up, you're going to see engineered trusses, plywood sheeting. This is all indicative of the 70s, 80s. They did proper framing techniques around windows. Yeah, but I do like that house. There's a little rail connection I didn't realize, like 2 blocks away until like yesterday.
5 blocks away. 5 blocks away.
Yeah.
Like light rails right here. There's a park, beautiful park up the street.
That park thing's so big.
Call out west on the end of that block. It's about is that 2 blocks down where that gas station is, Toby?
Yeah. So I mean, literally 2 blocks this way, there's kind of like a main arterial. It goes down. There's a gas station right in the corner. There's a 7-Eleven. There's a grocery outlet, bargain market, and then.
So awesome. I'm gonna go ahead and stop us there, Teresa. Wow. And so you're all on Zoom together. You're all doing everything. So you see Toby's outside, you're in a different space, you've got the inspector inside, and you're still all able to have that conversation and really keep your client moving forward.
I think that the biggest thing that I wanted you guys to see is how valuable actually being walked through sections with an inspector is versus just getting a report, because of the frame of reference is very confusing to buyers if they've never physically been at the property. Sure. So that was huge. And then also we could just Google Earth things and tell them where things are, but having that FaceTime and building a rapport and just reminding him, you got really excited about, just really feeling like he was there when he wasn't.
Okay, well, great. Well, thank you so much for sharing all this with us. I know this is going to be a big, huge help for a lot of people. So not only can you do your presentations on Zoom, not only can you visit with friends and family on Zoom, but you can actually do business while you're out in the field on Zoom.
And learn from my mistakes, because there are a lot of things I'm going to do differently now after watching that footage. And that's why I wanted to show it's not a pretty footage, but you guys can all make it better with this little training.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Teresa, for joining us today. We sure do appreciate it. You are wonderful, my friend. All right, so let's go ahead, and I want to invite in a regular on our team meetings. It's Mr. Josh Clark and his wonderful sidekick, Ellie Senatori. Come on in, guys. How are you doing today?
Hey there.
Hey there. So you have had some amazing results using Facebook ads on command. Am I right?
That's correct. Yeah. I'm going to share my screen.
Okay. I'll let you take over then, Josh.
All right. Perfect. So actually, right before I click this button here, as some context, our team, our business model is built on generating business from our listings, right? As they talk about in the Millionaire Real Estate Agent. The primary way that we did this last year was through open houses. And so the moment this got very real for us was the moment that the Northwest MLS started not advertising or not promoting those open house times in the way that they were. And it turns out that became a real blessing, because it forced us to pivot into finally leaning into the command campaigns and specifically Facebook ads. So I spoke with Allie, who is our community coordinator, who was doing our social media work already, and said, hey, here's Facebook ads. It's not exactly the same thing that we're doing, but we really we want to make sure that our pipelines are healthy and continue bringing leads in. So we have spent the last 40 days-ish, really, we call it ooching inching and scooching into a new field. So I'm going to share my screen here. I don't know if anyone has looked at Command in the last, Allie, what was this, 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago that this dashboard launched?
Yeah, about that.
Okay, yeah. So this is a new feature when you go to campaigns. You can kind of get a broad overview of all of your campaigns, but as you can see over the last 30 days, we've spent on Facebook about $158 and have generated 175 leads. So even when you take into account the more poorly performing ads that we've been practicing with, it's still less than $1 per lead, which is exactly what we're shooting for. So I'm going to just, again, briefly go over kind of some of the results that we've seen, and then I'm going to let Allie take over because she's really the one who's spearheading this whole thing and tell you some of the things we've learned that make for a lower cost per lead captured and just better performing ads. So as you can see, you know, we started out, we've tried a whole bunch of different things. We've had leads as expensive as you can see down in the bottom here, $30 for a single lead over 10 days. That was an expensive one. But as we learned, as we, you know, started really just diving in and reflecting on progress and making adjustments, we're now seeing somewhere between 40 and 70 leads per ad at anywhere between, as you can see here, our lowest is 45 cents. And I think this one here, we did Instagram and Facebook, but just Facebook, let's see if I can get it to load, was 41 cents a lead, which is amazing. So, Allie, how can our friends at home get the same results?
Yeah, so I have some, just a couple tips. So basically what we have found as far as platforms go, Facebook is definitely the one that generates the most leads. I've found in the last week that the Google AdWords are actually really good if you're trying to test or do research on what people in your industry or in your area are like what they're looking up and what they're trying to find. Not necessarily great for leads though. As you can see, we didn't even have any leads with the one Google AdWord that we did. And then as far as Instagram goes, it's a completely different, it's just like a different market and a different aesthetic. And so all the ads we've been doing through Facebook, while they can translate to Instagram, I feel that if we were just to solely do an Instagram ad, I would do it differently. So we've just kind of been running with Facebook as far as lead generation goes. But listing ads, we have found, definitely do the best. So we've tried like the Keller Williams app. We've tried that before. What other app or ads have we tried that weren't listing related?
We did, so this wasn't on Facebook, but when we did the Google AdWord, we tried to do an ad about here's how you can buy and sell homes in the time of COVID, like how we're addressing that in virtual services. And
yeah, so we've been testing a little bit, but we've just found like so much activity as far as listing ads go. So we've just been kind of running with that because people love looking into other people's homes. And so especially when they're local, if you see like an ad of a house down the street that's for sale and you can see inside, why wouldn't you want to look there? So we have been doing the 360 tours and linking a link through the lead generation form. And sending it straight to the 360 tour. So we start with just one photo on the screen, like on the ad, just one though, because we've tried this a couple times. What we found is just one photo of the exterior only does the best as far as intriguing people to click on it and to see more. Because if you give them too much information, they're already bored. And so then they move on and they don't actually give you their information through the lead generation form. So you just want to give them a little taste. So using an exterior photo we found has worked the best. So you just want to keep it pretty vague. And then as far as duration goes, 10 days maximum has been the most useful just because we've tried launching the same ad twice. One for 10 days, then we relaunched it again, and we found that it didn't generate near as many leads. So we actually right now are trying, today we're launching 2 other ads, and we're going to try to launch the same ads in 2 different locations instead of launching say like we launch an ad in Maple Valley and then we launch the same ad in Maple Valley, it doesn't do as well the second time around. So we're going to try launching it in 2 different areas. So yeah, we changing that. So to be continued on that, hopefully we'll know more information when we teach our full class on Thursday. But as far as just like the commentary goes, the headline, I've just been trying to be like a little bit more alerting. I'll use like emojis and everything. So just being a little funny. And then in the description, it's definitely, I've found that being a little bit more comical and humorous in the comments tend to get people's attention. So I say things like, want to see inside? Of course you do, like things like that. Or to be more relatable, I say like, this house is near the lake. We definitely would want to be spending the summer here. So you want to get into this house before it's summertime. So emojis and just funny commentary, but giving them as little as possible, but giving them like getting as much of their attention. So yeah, that's kind of like the balance we've been following. So those are kind of 8 points that we have found so far in our research. But yeah, really just testing and throwing as many different ideas and really things like that. So yeah, unless you have anything else to say, I think that was all my advice in the
Yeah,
short.
the only other thing I would add, Ali, is that we have found that because there are multiple options when you're setting up an ad, right? In ways that you can get the information. You could send someone to an external landing page, or you can have them fill out the lead capture form right on Facebook. Mm-hmm. And we see it is night and day the difference between the amount of leads generated when we do that lead capture form directly in Facebook. All of this is super easy. If any of this went over your head, trust me, the reason why it took us this long to jump on these is because it was all over my head too. So thank God that Ali was here. But doing this through command is so simple. And in fact, as if you're looking at the chat and when you were listening earlier, Ali and I are actually going to teach a class together at 3 o'clock on this Thursday, to walk through actually creating an ad. I mean, if the stars align, we'll probably just create the ads that we're launching later this week. But you'll be able to ask all the questions you want. We'll go through click by click, and we'll make this easy for everybody. Mm-hmm. Trying to see if there are any questions in the chat. What has been your conversion? Thank you. What's been the conversion? So I talked with our sales team. We'll talk about best practices around that follow-up on Thursday, but we are seeing about 1 in 30 has turned into an appointment. So a set appointment, which means at this point we have set between 5 and 6 buyer appointments directly from these ads for, $170. I'm sorry, less than $160. And how much are we spending on a 10-day ad? We do $30. Mm-hmm. Is the default, and honestly, we do that because that's what command recommends, and we just did it, and it's worked out the best.
Fantastic. Gosh, you guys are so wonderful. And you want to take their class on Thursday at 3 o'clock, just check on our Facebook pages and you will see the link for that class. Wonderful. Yeah, so Jennifer's asking where do we find that link. Yeah, just go on our Facebook pages on the normal calendar. You'll see that. We will also have that posted for you so you guys can sign up in advance. Guys, thank you so much for joining us and being on that. I do want to share with folks one thing here is that in your on command, you're going to notice if you've never done an ad spend before, right here at the very top of your command, you're going to say create your first Facebook ad and we'll take $25 off your spend of $75 or more. So get in there and take advantage of free money so you can really start using command and getting really good at that. Here's the thing with technology, guys. Jumping in and being okay to fail is okay. You saw that at the very beginning of our team meeting. Oops, I hit the wrong thing. Okay, it happens. But as we learn, we fail forward, and we get better and better all the time. Don't worry about perfection, just worry about progress. And don't even worry about it, just choose to learn more and do more. this world that we're in, there's a lot of these things that aren't going to go away. You'll see a lot of the technology, including the home tours that Teresa was doing. We're going to see more of those. Doing one-on-ones with your clients. We're going to see more in Zoom. So let's take advantage of it. Let's take advantage of the learning, of all of the classes that we have available for you. And let's see just how great we can get at all of this. All right, guys, I want to thank you so much for joining us for our team meeting today. Here's what I always have to say to you. Stay safe, stay healthy, and more important than anything else, stay active. Have a fantastic rest of your day, everybody. Bye.